The sheer degree of corruption being committed by the Trump administration is flowing at such a velocity that it's very easy to completely lose sight of most of what's going on. You see, there are scandals that under any other administration would have brought the entire administration down, would have brought the whole business of government screeching to a halt because of the size of the scandal. But because they're happening so much of the time with Trump, we completely lose sight of them. They all end up going under the radar, and the media end up covering little or nothing of them at all. One such scandal involves Trump, his family, and Steve Wickoff and his family. These two families are sort of arch enterprises trying to find ways to milk money from the government together as a joint endeavour and enterprise. This seems to be what is actually taking place when we look at the detail of key things that are happening. So let's ask the first question. Why was Steve Witkoff made Trump's foreign envoy? This is a real estate developer who has no experience of politics whatsoever. He has no experience of international relations whatsoever. He has no relationships with any other foreign leader or counterpart in any way whatsoever. So why is this guy appointed as the president's foreign envoy? No credentials, no qualification, no logical reason to appoint him. Well, there is actually a reason, because Wickoff's family and Trump's family have together formed a startup called World Liberty Financial. This startup basically attracted investment and just earlier this month launched a new crypto coin. So they launched a new cryptocurrency. That in itself netted the Trump family alone $5 billion. This has been a way of starting to attract money and then offer a public offering out there and get people to buy the coin, and in the end net a huge amount of money for the Trump administration. Now, why is World Liberty Financial, why is the coin of that so valuable? Why has it gone onto the market and accrued so much money for the Trump family and ultimately for the Wickoff family, their own fortune as well? Well, because they managed to get foreign actors to invest billions of dollars into World Liberty Financial. Before it was released to the market and became a coin, that startup accrued billions of dollars of investment. One such tranche of investment came from the United Arab Emirates, UAE. Wickoff had meetings with the head of the Sovereign Wealth Fund of the UAE in Sardinia, for example, on the Mediterranean, an island where lots of billionaires love to hang out. Their yachts are sort of parked around the island on the Mediterranean, beautiful place. And he had meetings with the head of the UAE Sovereign Wealth Fund. Now, America produces some highly exclusive computer chips that are used for the development of AI. These are rare chips that America basically gives out very selectively because it's worried about competitors like China getting hold of them, and it can make a big difference in the AI race. Now, ordinarily, America would have no business in allowing access to these chips to a country like the UAE. They also do business with China and people like that. They might end up leaking it everywhere. So on national security grounds, these chips wouldn't be given to the UAE. But Wickoff did a deal with the head of the UAE Sovereign Wealth Fund and the UAE government that they could have access to these chips. Soon after doing that deal, the UAE government then invested $2 billion into World Liberty Financial. How do we know that? Well, Wickoff's son, Zach Wickoff, announced it in a press release that $2 billion of investment has been made into World Liberty Financial by the UAE. At exactly the time when the Trump administration gave them access to these invaluable chips that everybody wants to get a hold of, and they were given that. Now, is it a coincidence that they invested in this fund that makes both the Wickoff family and the Trump family very rich as a result? I'll leave you to answer that question. This is beyond any ethical guidelines that has ever been used in any administration in the past. Because the ethics around this are very, very clear, and they're written down. No government official should be transacting business, and no family of any government official should be transacting any business with a foreign power with whom they're also negotiating contracts and organizing foreign deals. That is absolutely forbidden. That's exactly what they did. While negotiating a deal with that country, they also received a huge amount of money to their personal fortune from that country. Now, without doubt, if and when Trump leaves office, he will issue a pardon for Wickoff and his whole family, and of course Trump's whole family, in order to make sure that in future they're not prosecuted for these crimes. They basically all have a get-out-of-jail-free card. We know the Supreme Court already gave Trump a get-out-of-jail-free card, saying that in the business that he's engaged in as president, he cannot be prosecuted for that. So they gave that to him, and he's now going to give that out to other people in the form of a presidential pardon. So they're all basically immune now, and they know they're immune, which is why they're engaging in activities that would have breached any ethical boundary that existed in past administrations. But they carry on. So now we know why Steve Witkoff is in the position that he is. He's able to make deals for and with Trump. On behalf of the Trump family and the Wickoff family together, they can go to different leaders around the world. Why do you think he meets Putin so often? He meets all these different leaders, and there are deals going on, some of which occasionally we get a little window into, like this one, and we see what's really going on. But most of which, I'm sure, go undercover. Money coming across to these families' fortunes, and in exchange, favoritism and deals going on. Why is it that even though Trump knows that Russia is single-handedly continuing the world in the war in Ukraine, continues to defy any efforts by his administration to create a ceasefire or end the conflict there? And yet, no sanctions build up against Russia. Nothing happens. There are no consequences. So they continue to bomb and bomb and bomb. Why is that? What is it that he's getting from Russia? Well, we know the conduit. We know the person who's doing the deals. We know how these transactions are happening. And every now and then we get to see them. But make no doubt that this is just the tip of the iceberg. An iceberg of corruption, the likes of which we have never seen before in US history, or indeed in the Western world to date. I hope you like my video. As a psychiatrist who loves politics and economics and philosophy, I love to make videos like this, and you can really help promote this video to other people and get it on your feed more by liking and commenting and subscribing to the video as well. We have a wonderful community of people here who comment and support each other through this very traumatic period of world history that we're going through right now. I also hope you consider becoming a subscriber to the channel and also subscribing to my e-newsletter. There's a link in the description, and that way we can stay in touch outside the channel, so you can keep abreast of all of the content that I'm making on an ongoing basis. The latest of which actually is my latest book called We the People. Very, very proud of this book. It's actually a novel, a fiction book written by myself and the famous award-winning author T.J. McGregor. Together we wrote a book about what the future might look like. Bit of a dystopian novel, but what might happen if autocracy goes to its next stage, AI predicting the potential end of humanity. I actually made a video about that, it really happened. And how things might pan out in this dystopian world, and actually how a band of committed, passionate, progressive people managed to change the trajectory, and not in the way that you think. It's not just by running a candidate and opposing the autocrat, but actually by deepening the democracy that we have and engaging in a real participatory form of democracy that sort of shifts the needle and gets us back to basics and helps us sort of rebuild our democracy. And that's within the context of a really compelling, gripping story, a bunch of fascinating characters, and I assure you, you will not be able to sort of stop turning the page until you get to the end of the book. That's what all the reviewers have said so far. Lots of people love it, and I hope you can get it. You can get it on Amazon, any of the global Amazon bookstores out there. Please do order your copy of We the People. Just put We the People Russell Razak and you'll be able to find it inside Amazon as well. Also, I hope you consider becoming a member of the channel. You can subscribe to a couple of different membership levels. All members of the channel also get some free ebooks that I produce once a month. You can buy those ebooks too from russellsbooks.com. That's russellsbooks.com, and every month I produce a new ebook on that channel, which is really about, these are the non-fiction books I produce with my team, which is really about how to learn about the world around us and the psychologies of the people who govern us, but also how to learn about ourselves, deepen our own self-awareness in a way that helps us navigate this difficult world we're in right now. So those are sort of self-help books that are produced every month, and if you're a member of the channel, you get a sort of 100% discount on those books every month. Otherwise, you can go to russellsbooks.com, as I say, and buy them anytime you like. I really hope you can become a part of this community, as I say. So this sort of supportive community, validating and helping each other, is really worth being a part of, and I hope you can join us as we all join forces to create a better tomorrow together. Thank you.